Welcome into WagerTalk TV. Alongside Tony Mejia and Andy Lang, I am Megan Payton. NFL Week 5 is here. We're looking at Sunday Night Football. The Cincinnati Bengals versus the Baltimore Ravens. Ravens a 3-point favorite, the total at 48.5. Tony, I'll come to you first. I feel like the Bengals are finally turning their season around. However, the Ravens coming off that heartbreaking loss after John Harbaugh decides to go for the points instead of kick the field goal. What can we expect to see out in Baltimore for Sunday Night Football?
Well, Megan, I think we can expect to see an angry Marcus Peters, considering one of the last things I read was the media approached him in the locker room on Wednesday, and he said, "I got nothing for y'all." So from that standpoint, I think it's an angry, frustrated Baltimore defense ranking last in the entire NFL and pass defense. You rarely see that from them. They're giving up 315 yards per game. That's got to be music to Joe Burrow's ears. Tied for 23rd in scoring defense. They're giving up an average of 25 points per game. So, I mean, this is a get-right game for that offense that really didn't do much against Miami. They won, and obviously the game was under a cloud of controversy due to the Tua concussion. But, you know, from the standpoint of putting Miami away, it really didn't happen until Bridgewater threw that second interception. So Cincinnati wasn't crisp offensively, hasn't really been crisp offensively all season. But they're in an underdog role, 6-0 in their last 6 as an underdog for the defending AFC champions. And the road team is 6-0 in the last 6 Baltimore Ravens games. So a lean to Cincinnati on that point. But I think I'm going to ride with the over here. Hopefully Rashad Bateman is going to play. J.K. Dobbins is back and made a splash. Ronnie Stanley, the tackle, is back for Baltimore. So I mostly think that Lamar Jackson will be able to keep the good times rolling against the Bengals defense that, they've been solid against the run. They're the 4th in the NFL against the run, but they don't get to see a dynamic playmaker like Lamar Jackson often. So with the weather conditions being pretty clear, rain's likely to stay away and wind not being a factor, I think we'll get to see over 48.5 points in this AFC North clash.
Yeah, Tony, and the Ravens are averaging 29.8 points per game, which is 3rd in the NFL. I like the over there. Andy, what are you taking for any player props for Sunday Night Football?
Yeah, getting a little sneaky here. I'm going to take Joe Burrow under 11.5 yards rushing. So we look at Joe Burrow's games this year. He went over this total in the first 2 games of the season, but the last 2 games he's not been running. I think he's being very cautious, and he needs to be. That's the right thing to do with this team. He cannot afford to get hurt scrambling around, and the offensive line has their issues. And with this Ravens secondary banged up and giving up a lot of yards, why would he run when he's probably going to have T. Higgins and Jamar Chase and Tyler Boyd at points open? Joe Mixon has been struggling on the ground, but he's getting a lot of carries. He's at a total of 6 yards rushing combined the last 2 weeks. And the Ravens have given up 102 yards rushing to quarterbacks this season. 85 of that was to Josh Allen and 1 15-yard Mac Jones scramble. So quarterbacks are not running a ton outside of Josh Allen and Mac Jones on one play. I think Burrow plays it a little bit cautious. He's going to throw the ball away more than take off and run. I'm sure the Bengals have told him, we cannot afford to lose you. Play it safe. And just 6 yards rushing combined the last 2 weeks. It screams an under here. So give me Joe Burrow under 11.5 yards rushing.
A classic AFC North battle, the Bengals versus the Ravens on Sunday Night Football. Great stuff from Andy and Tony. You can find more of their bets on WagerTalk.com. Also, go on to Twitter, Andy at Bump Sports and Tony at Mejia Dinero. Great stuff. We look forward to talking more NFL in weeks to come.